Hey, Coach, so glad you found us on YouTube. Couple things. First of all, make sure you go over and check out teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. Let me help you put banners and all those things in the gym. It's a great community. We do one-on-one calls, office hours. There's nothing like it. And you get my personal email address. There's a roadmap in there to help you become a better basketball coach. Also, go over and subscribe and like. Have a great day.
All right, welcome to High School Hoops. All right, Coach. So I always talk before these. Coach is laughing because I have a urinary infection between podcasts. We batch these, and I the bathroom and back. So he was laughing at me, but
I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing at you. It's
laughing with me, laughing
with
me. It's like, yeah. So this is High School Hoops, so I can tell this story. So I went to the doctor yesterday because I'm getting over strep. They put me on penicillin. I went to the doctor. I go, this ain't right. What's going on? So the third thing the doctor, this wasn't my primary. She asked about, do you have like an STD? I go, no, I do not. Trust me, I do not have. That's what everyone at work was teasing me about. That is not the problem. I do not have an STD, but I do have some sort of urinary thing. Anyway, so if you see me drinking water during the podcast, if you're watching it on YouTube, that's what I'm doing. But before we jump in, I'd like to give a big shout out to our two sponsors. First of all, Dr. Dish. Coach only has one of them. We're going to get him to buy another one. But mention us. They'll take really good care of you. Trust me. Mention Coach Collins, High School Hoops. They will, they'll give you $450 off, but they'll give you a great discount. They're in Minnesota, Midwest people, baby. Midwest. You'll get Midwest service. And then
great
also
great pension out there too.
Yes. Minnesota's great too. Minnesota is great. Cold though, cold. That's the Wisconsin guy saying Minnesota's cold. Yeah, you go up to the UP in Michigan and you go to northern Minnesota, you're in Canada basically at that point. You are in Canada basically. And then mention go over and check out teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. I haven't said this, a lot of cool changes coming. Just hired a programmer to kind of change the site. Going to do a lot of cool things. Coach will like this. I basically have Teachhoops, and then I've been basically over the last couple of years filming everything I do in my program. So the kind of the behind the scenes thing. So I think it's going to be kind of cool for coaches to kind of see that, see our film sessions, don't you think that'd
be really cool?
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people have done that. So I'm not 100% happy with all of it yet, but I got, like I told Coach, I got a couple more years left. As I cough, that was a real cough, not a cough. Only a couple of years left. And I'm just trying to get stuff as I do it and practice planning and how we do it and all that kind of stuff. So just pulling the curtain back. So go over and check that out. Get in before prices increase because I got to play the programmer. And like I said last week, I got 2 kids in college. Luckily, next year at this time, my oldest will be graduating with a computer science major. So he'll be well employed, I'm guessing. Maybe.
Unless AI takes over, and then it's
yeah, but the stuff he does, he says it's different. And then one of his internships, I think, was IBM in New York City, maybe this summer. I said, Truce, New York in the summer. He goes, I know, Dad, but so we'll see.
Send him out here.
I know he loves New York. But he goes to school in Middlebury, which is the middle of Vermont, which is the opposite of New York City. Middle of Vermont. He can't get pizza. So coaches, you'll love this. He can't get pizza after 9:00 in Middlebury, Vermont. Like there's no.
It's not even real pizza. Let's be honest.
No, it's not. No. Do you fold your pizza? You fold your pizza? Eat it like a New York style pizza?
I see. All right, now I'm gonna lose all of my New York, New Jersey credibility here. I actually cut the first few pieces of my pizza to get it nice and crispy. So I'll cut, fork, and then get the nice first bite because I don't like it all jumbled in the beginning. I like to get the
when you fold, it gets a little greasy.
It gets all I like to get the first clean, and then I'll fold after that.
Okay. All right.
That's it. I'm canceled now in New Jersey.
You probably are.
Yeah.
All right. So this week's topic is women's basketball versus men's basketball. And what were you thinking about with this topic?
First of all, I wanted to really give a shout out to all the girls coaches. I mean, the amount of I don't want to say respect, but the way our programs are treated, it's normally, you know, we're second class citizens, if that, in coaching basketball. We get the early game times. We get the smaller crowds. There's just not as much clout around the girl, especially in the high school level, I want to say. I'm not talking about the college level. But on that note, I feel like the college game has really added something this year. I'm excited about it. What we saw this year with the UConn Iowa game. I mean, that's incredible to have that be the most watched basketball game in ESPN history. They got to be doing something right, and I don't know what it is.
Well, here's my observation. First of all, I think the coaching's always been good. I think I have several observations. I've had several discussions with coaches about this. So here's my first thought: is women's basketball is where men's basketball was in the 50s. Like when Wooden was winning them all, Wooden was winning them all. And it was kind of boring because it was UCLA year after year after year after year.
So like UConn.
Yeah, kind of like UConn. And it's boring. It was boring. And then all of a sudden, the NC States and the other things in the mid 80s, and North Carolina won one with Jordan Henning, and Villanova won that. All that excitement kind of happened, and poof, it was like anybody, you know, now you got 30 teams that can win it. So what I think is happening with women's basketball is a couple things. First of all, I think Caitlin Clark is probably a generational player, just because the way she scores and passes.
And her work ethic.
And her work ethic. She needs a Magic. Larry had Magic. Michael had Detroit. Like, you need the bad boy. She needs somebody. She had Angel for a while.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be Paige. I thought Paige was gonna. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Paige thinks she's gonna be the next Caitlin. I think that's where she's kind of
okay.
That's my theory. But anyway, so I watched the NBA. I watched the WNBA draft. Never watched it before. I knew more girls in the first round than I've known in a first round of the men's tournament in 10 years, 15 years. So the women don't leave; they tend to stay. Right?
Yep, you get 4 out of them.
Why? I'm going to stay and make more NIL money than I am now that I'm going to go to the WNBA. So they stay. You get to know them. Like, I know players on, you know, LSU for next year. I know players on Connecticut for next year. I know,
for sure.
You know, I know players on Iowa for next year.
Yeah, these are squads.
They're squads. So I think what's happened to men's basketball, and this is what we were talking about before with NIL and maybe them needing that you know, the portal and all that. The men's is going to have to do something where they keep them around for a couple of years with contracts. I think what I've lost in the men's side, I didn't even fill a bracket out this year. I had more connection probably to Purdue than anybody because I knew all those guys.
Edie was there. Yeah,
Edie was there, and I knew him, but I knew a couple of the UConn guys.
The Kentucky team, I mean, I knew them as you know, NBA, you know, prospects, but as far as being on the same team, I didn't.
That's what I'm saying. So I think what's happened with the men's, and this is my observation, what's happened with the men's and women, there's been a disconnect with the men's program. Similar to free agency sometimes in basketball and the NBA, sometimes, you know, like we have Giannis. I think he's he's 29. He's one of the best players in the world, but he stayed. So there's a connection with him, you know, because he stayed. It's, you know, Giannis's team. They're leaving so much. The portal's going to do, I don't know. I think that's one of the big connections. And to be honest with you, as a high school basketball coach of a good, nationally ranked, you know, we've been nationally ranked at the boys level in the country. My games are closer to the girls than it is to the boys.
That's I had that in my notes. I told my guys all season, I was like, go watch some high level women's basketball. I mean, they run sets, they run pin downs, they run slips. It's almost like the European game in a sense where it's more about the movement and more about
the spacing.
what you're doing off ball. You know, Instead, these kids want to throw on YouTube and watch James Harden ISO and hit a step back, and that's not your game. You're never going to get there. You might get there one day. I'm not going to, disparage anybody, but the movement and the spacing and the sets and the counters that they're running, that's really what you should be looking at right now.
Right. Yeah. And I think it's even the pace of play. And trust me, I have guys that play above the rim, but I don't have 12 of them. I have 3 or 4 of them, and then I've got a 5'9" guard that's really good, but he ain't playing above the rim.
No, man, and he's gonna need that sneaky screen or need that.
Yeah, so it's like I think that's a nuance that high school coaches have to really look at in terms of the college game. Is it doesn't matter if you're a guys or a girls coach. You should be watching the women's game more than the men's game, I think.
Yeah, and like you said before, from a coaching perspective too, that's a better way to spend your time.
Right.
Watching the women's games, because that's where you're going to see the counters, and you can see them build off. I ran this 2 sets ago. Watch what I do now, and then if you really pay attention, it's really chess. Yeah,
it is chess.
It's chess, which is what we're looking to do at the high school level.
And so it's a lot of things. I think the difference is it's the chess, it's the execution, it's the fundamentals. It's I know them. Like, literally watch more women's basketball this year than I had in the last 10. Because I was intrigued.
The tournament was
the tournament was better than men's. Now I don't know that. I shouldn't say that. I don't know that because I was visiting my son in the UK and couldn't get the freaking games, and then had to buy a VPN so I could say that I was in Chicago so I could get YouTube TV. It was just a nightmare anyway to watch it. And
they weren't showing anything. Like,
no, they don't. It's England. They don't care. They have Manchester United was on TV.
Yeah,
but
and then they get their 3 NFL games per year.
Well, and then it's 6 hours, so it's like, okay, the game starts at 6. It's midnight in the UK, and I ain't knowing spring chicken, so it's like I watched some of them, but anyway. So I was here more to watch the women's, but I think I just think the difference of the gameplay, and again, I think we saw a generational player. I do. I think she's she is. I think she's really good.
How many do you think she could score in an NBA game?
She's 6 foot, which is her problem.
Small.
So if you make her the size of a 6, so 6 foot is like 6'4".
Let's give her a 6'4". Yeah.
So then, yes, I think she could. You gotta like play little mind games with yourself.
Yeah.
Like a 6 foot girl is like a 6'4", 6'5" guy. Yeah, if she's a guard passing like that, she's creating off the dribble.
Like a Curry, come off the multiple screen.
Yeah. Then it's like, so that's the thing is, you don't understand. The girl from South Carolina, what was she, like 6'7", 6'8"?
Yeah,
that's like a 7. They couldn't shoot. That's like crazy.
Yeah,
like,
but she couldn't move. But kind of like some of the guys in the NBA,
like Edie. It's like Edie.
Yeah, like Edie. Yeah.
Like I don't know how Edie's gonna correlate to the NBA.
Yeah, it might be rough for him. He might be like a Montrose type situation.
Yeah, I think he's gonna make a team, and I think he'll play, and I think he'll be. But he's not gonna be an all-star. He's not gonna.
No, get him in there for rim protection.
He's not gonna be Lopez for the Bucks. He's not gonna be like that. Like Lopez tweaked his game. He went to Stanford, knew he had to shoot threes, was able to do it. Stretch the. It's all about spacing. If you're an NBA men's coach, you want 6'7", long, lanky,
and get out,
and can get out. And I can have 4 of them. Like Steph is an anomaly. Edie's an anomaly. Those are the Shaquille O'Neals of the world. Don't happen anymore.
I would say Rudy Gobert's an anomaly. That guy.
Yeah.
How is he doing what he's doing? That's crazy. And he's constantly in the NBA. The players come out with those polls. They always say he's one of the most overrated.
So we're gonna date this game. Did you see the Sixers thing last night?
I did. I had the opportunity to go to that game, and I passed it up.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
the amount of tweets I've seen on that thing, it's crazy.
Yep.
Fix was in.
Well, also, did you see Nick Nurse was calling timeout as his guy was on the floor? that timeout has to be given, right?
I know.
And also Maxi on the floor. If you realize that you're doubled and you're on the floor,
You eat it.
cover,
I say
timeout.
eat it. I say eat it.
Eat it.
I tell
Yeah,
the
yeah.
boys, I say, I would rather have you eat the ball than
Yep.
throw it away. And they go,
Then
what do you mean?
anything live ball.
I go, what are you doing when you're on the 2-yard line and you got to get 6 inches? You are tucking that ball and you
Yep.
are going. And I said, so we practice. Like I said, we never take time. So I'm going to give a little bit for high school coaches. We never take a timeout on a loose ball ever. Our rule is you're going to go get it. And we're not going to, you're not. And I said, if you get in trouble, grab and huddle. But I said, on a loose ball, we're going and getting it and you're passing it to your teammate. I don't care. Timeouts are too valuable. I need them like Nurse did at the end of the game. I need to be able to call one when we need it. And I don't need to burn one 2 minutes into the game on a loose ball, jumping out of bounds, timeout. That doesn't help us.
Well, we lost our state game. We went 1-4, got our best player at the top. He loses his footing. And instead of, with 22 seconds left, instead of grabbing and just eating it, he tries to tap it other way, layup. Now we're down 2. Yep.
That's just
Senior. I felt so bad. Yep. And there's nothing you could do. You just,
no.
That's an instinct play.
It's an instinct play, but it's going to haunt him for the rest of his life. Forever.
But if you're burning that in your kid's brains, maybe he grabs and covers.
Grabs and burns. I know. All right. Any other closing remarks on the men's game? I like college basketball better than NBA. The NBA playoff time I like better, but during the season, they're coasting. They're coasting.
Yeah,
they're coasting. I don't know. It's fun to go and watch, but I think the collegiate game's better.
I'm just excited. I mean, girls basketball, at least around us, the numbers have been really declining.
Volleyball, huh?
Volleyball is huge.
It's crazy. It's a cult, people. It's a cult.
Yeah. They always have 3. They have 3 levels, and then those same athletes won't come out to play basketball.
No.
And I have a theory, because we have to run.
Yeah, you have to run, and volleyball is very social.
Yes.
It's very social. It's like, yay.
After every point,
trust me, I've coached volleyball. Yay. We just spiked it off the wall and hit grandma's head. Yay.
But hey, we're back. Yep.
Back together. And it's like, and you can also put people like, if you're 6'7" and can only move 2 feet in each direction, I can make you a middle. If you can only play defense, I'll make you a libero. There's spots where I can hide. Like, you can't do that.
You can't hide in basketball.
You can't hide. So I think that's the issue too. And I think basketball is going to fight that battle in the girls' side for it. I don't know. This might help a little bit. I think this is going to help some.
It'll move the needle a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah, but for the most part,
and especially will move the needle if they start making money. I think Caitlin's going to open the floodgates. I think she's
she just signed a huge Nike deal.
But it's her. I'm just saying that's what Magic and Larry did to the floodgates of the NBA too back in the 80s. Magic was the first $1 million contract. You need stars like that to open the floodgates. Like, everybody wants Tiger. You want Tiger. You want Caitlin, you want Michael. I know your egos are in the way, but if you're a WNBA player right now and you're one of the 144 women that make a roster, you should be thanking Caitlin, because she's going to bring money to you long term. If you keep making rosters, salaries are going to go up because attendance is going to go up and more people are going to watch, and the TV revenue is going to go up. I'll watch the TV this year. I'll watch it. It's going to go up
for sure.
So that's what they don't see, but they're all the best 144 women in the world. They're not gonna, their egos are gonna get in their way. But anyway,
we'll see.
I
believe in girl power. So, as a girls coach.
Let's hope. All right, till next week, Coach.
Hey, Coach. So glad you enjoyed the video. Subscribe and like before you leave, and also go over and check out teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. It's got everything and a roadmap for you to become a better basketball coach. So go over and check it out, and let's head back to the next video, wherever that would be.